Matt, it's another attack on the Federal Reserve, but I don't see it having any impact just yet. What do you see?
That's right, John. It's interesting that the president is choosing to go after the Fed now when stocks are going back up again and almost back near those record highs. But it looks like the president has perhaps figured out the economist's favorite game of exploring the counterfactual, right? So, but no, in all seriousness, the context of these renewed attacks is, of course, that the president is trying to install two new members on the Fed board, Herman Cain and Stephen Moore. Both of them have run into a little bit of resistance. We reported on Friday that the president kind of knows that Herman Cain may be a tough sell for the Senate, which needs to confirm him. And so he's trying to get the story out there that, there is change needed at the Fed, even if it's not so obvious by looking at the stock market at the moment.
Hey, Matt, you wrote a really interesting story this morning, and a lot of people have read it, and it's about how the Federal Reserve is really starting to broaden this investigation into its own objectives and how they reach them and how they read them. And what I think is interesting, Matt, is actually when you take a step back, the Federal Reserve looks increasingly aligned with some of the views that is coming out of the administration, out of the White House.
That's right. There is definitely a couple ways to which you get to the same conclusion at the moment, which is that there's something wrong with the old model of counting on low unemployment to generate higher inflation. And so, of course, that's the line that's been coming out of the White House now. That's what Fed nominee Stephen Moore has been trying to argue is everything that's wrong at the Fed. But the Fed itself is coming to that conclusion via some other sources. And so one possible explanation is that profit margins are just very high and businesses don't need to necessarily raise prices in order to counteract higher wage growth. So we'll have to see how this kind of thinking plays out, but it really underscores this notion right now that the Fed is on hold regardless of whether the president wants them to be or not.